Hello, online world. This is Off the Record with Migs Bustos, and today we are going live on Off the Record Facebook page and on Facebook, of course. This is in partnership with Podcast Network Asia, and today pag-uusapan po natin is college basketball recruitment. You see, my guests now are in Maroon. Maraming salamat for my guests taking time today for a quick discussion on ano na nga ba ang nangyayari ngayon at ang future ng college basketball. Siyempre, introduce ko muna ang mga guests ko for today. Unahin ko, siyempre, first time to guest on Off the Record, assistant coach from the UP Fighting Maroons, Coach Mo Gingerich.
Hello, Migs.
Future head coach
Mo. Alright, Coach Mo, maraming salamat. At ito na po, humihirit. At siyempre, lagi suki ko to sa Off the Record and
Yes,
lahat ng mga pwede kong gawin for Mikee Reyes, he's there. Of course, Mikee Reyes. Brother, thank you so much for joining us here.
What's up, Migs? Long time Medyo less than 24 hours
Ang talk of the town, ang mga recruit ng UP Fighting Maroons.
Kailan? Ngayon o nung 2009?
2020, pare.
2020.
2020. Carl Tamayo and Jerry Abadiano. Coach Mo, pakwento naman.
Time out.
Okay.
Meron pa Meron pa Mo Sino yung isa? Xavier?
Si Miguel Tan. Marami kaming...
Marami, bro. Bro, sabihin niya muna lahat ng listahan. Gusto mo na malaman yung listahan. Listahan
okay,
muna.
Spotlights on you, Coach Mo. Go ahead.
Malik Diof from CEU is about 6'11". And si Maymay Kagulangan from LaSalle, point guard. Yung dalawang yun, residency. Pati si John Cor Cabahog from UV, residency rin yun. Yung mga play right away, si Carl Tamayo, Jerry Abadiano from NU, si Miguel Tan from Xavier, si Antonio Eusebio, he's Phil Canadian, 6'5", and actually full Filipino but grew up in Canada pala. And then another one from Canada is Alonzo Tan, point guard. Sino pa ba? There's some other, si Polo Labao. He used to be UPIS, then nag-Ateneo team beat, tapos babalik siya sa UP ngayon. I think that's everyone. So it's a big class of recruits and very good. Almost all positions are covered. I think Ethan Kirkness pa pala from Australia, 6'10".
Replace ng isang buong team Ang lupit. Diba? Parang, but siguro, Coach Mo, what was the process like? What was it like recruiting those players? At the same time, ano yung pinaka-selling point? Why go to UP?
Well, syempre, it helped. I think a lot of it helped because of our performance the last 2 years in the UAAP, making the finals, making the Final Four, and back-to-back years. And seeing, I guess, all the hype surrounding the team and the fanfare. I think as a player, every player, they want to play in front of packed crowds. They want to play for a school, for an alumni base that has the support behind them. And then obviously, of course, the education, the school itself is a big part of it as well, because that's a big selling part for us, to our recruits, is di naman forever ang basketball na pwede ka maglaro. Kung swerte ka hanggang 40, yung iba hanggang 30 lang. So yun, after basketball, syempre, most people would still need to work or have a business, ganyan. UP can prepare you for life after basketball.
Yes, as a former Fighting Maroon, as an alum, how does that make you feel? Solid recruits.
Una, of course, I'm happy and I'm excited with what Mo was talking about. That list is just crazy. It's like watching a Slam Rising Stars or a UAAP NCAA All-Star and BTC All-Star game. But to be honest with you, everything that he said, that they're the reasons why you would choose UP. Isa lang dun yung dahilan nung time namin maganda yung future mo outside of basketball. Pero everything he said, number one, yung support. Magkadiretsuhan na tayo. Yung support from the community wasn't that great. during our time, and they have a good reason not to support us. Number two, yung financial support. Ay, hindi binanggit ni Coach Mo yun. Pero wala kami nung time na yun. So, everything that he said, and also the winning culture, wala rin nung time namin. So, it's great lang to see how times have changed and times have finally, the kumbaga yung recruitment process or the recruitment competition that goes on in college, medyo lumalamang na yung UP. Kitang-kita naman doon sa mga recruits. So, I'm very, very, very excited with what Coach Mo said. Pero, gusto ko pa din malaman how it will be. Kumbaga, you get the pieces, but you gotta make it work. The same way you got the Kobe Paras, the Richie Rivero, yung mga last few seasons, Bright, June, the Gomez Lianos, you still gotta make them work. So I think the cudgels will still be on how the coaching staff, which I am very, very faithful of, as you can see. So malalaman natin kung kakayanin.
Ano yung value nung Abadiano tsaka Tamayo para sa UP ngayon?
For us, si Jerry, malaking bagay. He might start from day one at point guard because we lost from last year. We lost si Jun Manzo, si JB Mantilla, JD Tungkab, and even Juan, who were guys who played the point guard position for us last year. So si Jerry, malaking bagay yan. He'll probably play a lot right away. It's definitely a position of need, and he's more than capable. I think he played at a very high level last year, and he's played it for the national team at different age groups, and he's performed well at all these different stages. So there's no doubt in my mind. Tama yung sinasabi ni Mikey. Actually, yun din yung comparison ko sa kanya, si Paul Desiderio. Not necessarily yung same skill set sila, although medyo similar. Pero yung pinakaano yung puso, I see na yung will to win kay Jerry, nakikita ko talaga sa kanya yun. Then si Carl, of course, he's been the UAAP Finals MVP sa juniors the last 2 years. And at 6'7" with an amazingly great skill set for his size, he has the ability to step out. He has the ability to post up. He can play the 4 or the 5 spot, so he can back up Bright when Bright is tired or in foul trouble. Then also he can play alongside Bright and form a great front line for us. So they're both will play big roles right away for us.
Pero yun na nga, Mikey, no, as what Coach Mo said on the value of their recruits. At the same time, gusto ko na malaman ngayon, ano ba para sa aming mga fans? Ano bang galawan ng isang nire-recruit at ng re-recruit from your perspective at least?
From my perspective, when I graduated from LaSalle Green Hills, wala naman talagang recruitment. Yung competition dati was more of who did you want to play for, who coach, which basketball program, where you can get minutes. It was never give it to you straight. It was never financial. It was never what can this school offer you financially. It was never like that. Maybe to some in some cases, yung mga talagang superstar, yung mga sina Kiefer. Pero nung time namin hindi. But now I think it's out there. I think it's not a secret like what I've read Coach Franz may coach siya, Coach Bo had his own quote na talagang it's getting out of hand, and it's because of it's really the money na talaga ngayon yung hinahanap ng mga youngsters, which is sad to some degree, but at the same time, that's how it is. So now that UP has that support, medyo dun tayo mag-lean forward na, okay, UP can already offer you great education. Of course, proud ka maging isko. The winning culture is already there. Plus, mako-cover pa niya yung hinahanap mong extra pa na nakukuha mo before from other or bigger schools or bigger programs. So I think that's the biggest change for UP talaga, like flat out. That's the biggest change. They get the support now, and they can actually offer these things na to the high school kids.
Coach Mo, ngayon yung tanong ngayon, kamusta na recruitment ngayon from a coach's perspective now?
Siyempre, there were a lot of perks that we didn't get before, and the opportunity to travel and train in other countries, play tournaments internationally. Of course, an allowance. Actually, kami nila Mikey, we had an allowance naman nung umpisa. Pero it was just actually not even enough to get by. Not even enough to get by. You still had to ask money from your parents, diba, minsan for gas or whatever.
Saan ka humingi ng pera mo?
Sa magulang ko.
Magulang ba? Okay.
Ikaw ba mag-isaan? Kanino?
Just asking. So,
Yeah,
go
Coach.
Mo. Tuloy mo na, Mo.
Tuloy mo, Coach.
So, ayun. And now they have dorm, they have yung allowance nila enough. Yun, may food sila. Pero again, yung opportunity, I guess, to play for a winning program, malaking bagay yun eh. Kasi we couldn't, before UP, you didn't think like kung the top high school players, sila Kiefer, sila Geronteng, guys like that, you wouldn't think that there's a chance in the world na mag-UP sila. Diba? But now yung program that UP has built all around, which is still backed by a great UP education, but the basketball program has just improved so much that it's able to attract guys like that.
Mm-hmm. Mikey, you have anything to add?
Well, nung time kasi namin, I think me, Mo, and Mark Ruena, kami yung batchmates nun. Mark Ruena was actually MVP coming out of high school. And now kasi the winning culture that Mo was saying, back then our talk was, kasi we lived together for like a year, the three of us. Our talk was we went to UP because it was a challenge. It was a challenge that can you take them out of misery or help them come out, get out of misery. Kasi nung time na yun, medyo nagsistruggle pa. But, obviously, we didn't, that was what we were looking for, the opportunity to play. Kasi dati, if you go to a winning program, you go to Ateneo, you go to Lasal, upo ka for your first few seasons, which was what happened to a lot of the superstars that came out. Sina Nico Salva, nakaupo naman yan to start their careers. Wami Tiongson, nakaupo. But, that was the challenge. And also me, personally, when I was graduating, Wami Chongson chose Ateneo, Joel Tolentino chose Lasal. So I was like, okay, they wouldn't get minutes yet. Kasi Wami was playing behind Eman Monfort and Jai Reyes. Joel was playing behind LA Revilla and sina Bader Malabes. So I was given the opportunity to play agad. So yun yung naging deciding factor. Again, it's nothing. Kasi sabi ni Mo, pagdating namin dun, may butas yung bubong, 'di ba? There were practices na may balde, like literally may balde sa gitna ng court habang nagsiscrimmage kami. Diba? May excess of talent pa. Sa amin dati, sakto na yung may Woody ko ka na talagang, 'di ba, may mga Martin Reyes ka. Pero it was never an excess of talent. Ngayon talagang umaapaw sila ng talent ngayon. So I think the challenge before with us was to overachieve. The challenge for them now is to not underachieve.
Pero ngayon ba sa nakikita mo, ano yung mga minimum requirement that parents and recruits consider in choosing schools?
Ayun, yung education pa rin. Siyempre, allowance. Enough. Lalo na yung mga galing sa province, no?
Yeah.
Na wala silang family dito. Of course, they need a way to be able to take care of themselves. Lodging, food, able to buy, money to transportation to be able to get around. So, of course, there's going to be expenses with that. Eh, yung iba pa na, siyempre, galing sa not as well off in life, no? Yung iba nagpapadala pa ng pera sa mga magulang nila sa province who are maybe unemployed or they have jobs that don't pay as well as some others. And so those are main thing, lodging. So just to be able to be taken care of. Also now I think another big factor, actually mentioning the gym. Yung gym namin ngayon is leaps and bounds better. Naka-aircon na kami kahit na practice. Ang ganda ng court, yung sahig, everything is state of the art. So, malaking bagay din yun, yung facilities to get better. Pati yung weights room namin, maganda na. So, the opportunity to improve. Kasi kami dati, parang saan ka magbubuhat, ang tawag namin dun bronze gym sa weight group namin, pero puro kalawang yun. Pagbuhat mo, puro kalawang yung damit mo.
Pero ngayon, yung binubuhat nila ngayon, hindi na yung binubuhat ni Benji Parasa. Tayo, yung binubuhat natin.
Tayo,
champion yun. Champion weights yun. Champion weights.
Bronze
Benji
gym.
Parasa. Bronze
Ang
gym.
ini-expect ko lang pare, baka gym pero bronze
kasi
gym
Migs,
kasi.
Nung nagtayo ng may Gold's Gym sa Katipunan, di ba? So yung mga medyo may budget, Gold's Gym. Yung mga walang budget, doon sa Bronze Gym pupunta. Kaya yun yung yun ang usapan dati. Ay, Migs, nanonood ngayon si Evan Nelly. Nanonood si
Oy,
Evan Nelly.
Evan, what's up, bro?
Yun din, pare, napalipat ng Lasal dahil sa mga ganyang usapan
Alam mo na.
Magandaan.
Kanya-kanyang ano yan. Pero coach mo, kung ikaw, kumari, recruit ako. Lahat ng offer nandito na. School 1, School 2, School 3, para-parehas ang offer. Paano ka magde-decide ngayon? Ano yung mga usual na deciding factor? 'Di ba? Lahat may pa-allowance, yung iba siguro may pa-condo, iba may pa ganito, pa-kotse.
May bonus pa.
Bonus kung meron man, 'di ba? Ano usually deciding factor sa mga bata?
I think doon lumalamang ang UP. Kasi sa kunwari mga binibigay baka on par, pero yung other factors
school,
like education, yun, yung program, yung opportunity to what I was saying either earlier din, last season almost for sure we had the most fans at most games. Kahit sa Inares Antipolo, 5 minutes away sa bahay ni Mikey, halos puno. And sa game namin against Lasal, parang 7-8 UP, yung 1-8 lang yung Lasal.
Yep.
Yung time namin, nanonood lang yung magulang namin. Diba? Yung ticket
7-8,
namin
7-8 walang nakaupo, 1-8 may nakaupo.
Yun nga, baliktad.
Tsaka pati yung fans nung kalaban. Pati yung fans nung kalaban di na nanonood. Kasi UP kalaban.
Wala na, hindi na.
Wag na. TV na lang tayo.
Education. It's a deciding factor.
Of course, number one, dun lalamang ang UP. Yung mga kids from Xavier, most of the time, UP or Ateneo yan. Kasi education talagang hinahanap din nila. And even other kids from abroad as well. Diba? Kasi UP is, if you have a UP education, kahit pa paano magagamit mo sa US yun to work or something. At least University of the Philippines, it's universally ranked, and it's ranked within Asia. So, advantage din yun.
Ang tanong ko, is it getting out of hand? Tama ba? I mean, I saw that quote from articles from coaches that it is getting out of hand. Do you agree? Why or why not, Coach Mo?
I think in the world right now, the player empowerment and student athlete, college athlete empowerment is growing around the world. The same thing is happening in the US. And some states beginning, I think 2022, the college athletes in the US will be able to earn money off their likeness. So that's something that has been allowed here for years. So they can have commercials or they're able to sign autographs and earn money for that, which has never been allowed in the US NCAA. So certain states are coming out and allowing that. And also player empowerment as far as transferring. They now have in the US the transfer portal. So once you enter the transfer portal after a year, 2 years of college, any school can then talk to you openly and recruit you to come to your school. I think this is just where our world is moving in general, is that these college athletes, and even in NBA, you see player empowerment, definitely how much power a guy like LeBron James has as far as influencing the decision of the entire league. This is where our world is going right now. And in the States, it makes a lot of sense because these players are earning millions and millions of dollars for their schools, and all they're getting is a scholarship. Well, in some instances, it allows them to go to the pros, but other players, they're good college players, but they never make it to the pros. Maybe they aren't able to capitalize on that training that they receive while they're in college.
Mm.
So I think for the players, it's obviously a good thing because it means that they're more empowered and they're needed by the different universities.
So, Coach Mo, you're saying that inevitably, when we put the context here in the Philippines, inevitably, doon na talaga papunta. Not necessarily
Okay.
out of hand.
I don't think you can police it. If you're the UAP, you can't say na magka-cap tayo ng allowance sa players na 8,000 per month. So that's all across the board. You can't say that because inevitably, especially in this country, people will find ways to make sure that there are ways around that rule, and it still it won't happen. That happens in the States where there's the NCAA has thousands of employees who their job is to look into recruits getting money and players getting unfair benefits at these schools. So I don't think there's any way that the UAP will be able to police it.
Mikey, what are your thoughts on my original question?
Mataas na nga yung example ni Mo na 8,000 cup eh. mataas na nung panahon namin yun ah. Star player na tayo nun ah.
But you have to think then now, let's say you're coming from the province, baka nga kulang pa yung 8,000 if you have to buy
food.
Yeah. And you know what? You know what? There are actually college players now who can actually be breadwinners. And that's very, very surprising because during our time, you can't be a breadwinner until you're in the PBA. Just because of, hindi ganun kalaki pa yung kayang ibigay naman ng schools eh. So, I think na-challenge lahat because first when it was during our time, it was Ateneo and Lasal, obviously, diba? Number 1, number 2 teams. Tapos maganda din yung support coming from FEU. And then when SM entered NU, gumanda yung suporta sa NU. And then UST now is also finding ways to, up that support. So lahat nagko-compete na eh. So like what Mo was saying, hindi mo na ma-deny yung fact na talagang umaabot na doon. And again, because of social media nga, like ako, if I was a sponsor, before during our time, where will you see the logo naman na nakalagay sa UP for 2 hours in during a live game sa SNA? Yun lang. Now, because of Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all these things, these photos or these videos circulate the web for months, even years, especially if it's a good clip. And yun na nga, if Kobe Paras can wear my logo and then this clip will go around and trend and everything. So, companies and brands themselves, 'di ba? Nagbago na rin yung focus na talagang we can invest in terms of marketing with these kids. Kaya tumataas din yung support ng all other schools. Kaya ngayon, mas madami na yung talagang nagsusuporta because they know mama-market din na maganda yung ano nila. So I think it's really the era of social media and that era na talagang you just can't deny it, 'di ba? And I think the important thing lang for all of us as fans, as players, as former players or players who, 'di ba, as basketball people is focus on the game. Yun lang. Let's focus on the game because at the end of the day, even the kids, hopefully they focus on getting better every day and not what can I get if I do this? What am I going to get if we do this? If we win, how much will I get? Sana hindi ganun. At the end of the day, it's still, basketball, we're still out there to win, we're still out there to compete. Diba? And which is something that it's easier said than done. Pero that's why nandyan sina Coach Mo eh. Yung mga may experience dati, kayang i-impart sa mga mas bata.
Well, just to recap from what you guys said, yun nga, I mean, it's not necessarily getting out of hand. It's not also necessarily bad if you give support, if you can offer the support, basta just do it for the right reasons. Like what you said, Mikey, if hinahanap mo na kung ano yung makukuha ko dito instead of what your purpose truly is, then maybe you're headed in the wrong direction. But yes, yeah. Coach Mo, you're right, and you said then on how the NCAA, US NCAA, how the NBA players are using their platform to be empowered, and at the same time, nagiging ripple effect na rin ito dito sa Pilipinas. But siguro, just my last question, everything that's been happening with investing, companies investing, marketing, social media in general as exposure, it's inevitable na yung mga may kaya, sabihin na natin, mga schools na may kaya or universities, talagang magkakaroon lang sila ng, kumbaga niche sila di ba? Piling-pili kung sino-sino sila na pwede kang pumunta because of the support that they can offer. But what about the others? How does this affect now competition, Coach Mo, for the other institutions that do not have deeper pockets or do not have deeper support compared to the ones mentioned?
I think kasi we were in that boat before UP.
Yeah.
When we were playing, other schools had much more support than we did. So may mangyayari talagang ganun na the players they get are guys who want playing time, like me and Mikee, who went to UP because it was our opportunity to make the lineup. It was our opportunity to play right away. So that's your selling point now to your recruits. You could say this. Look at Ateneo. They're 10 deep. You're not going to crack their rotation for 2 years if you go and play there. But if you come to us, we're a smaller school. Maybe we won't win as many games, but you're going to start. You're going to play a lot. You're going to get experience and hopefully become better. Also, I wanted to say something on Mikey made a good point. Na yung if you're recruiting and if you're a player, and you're just thinking of what you can get as far as financially or something like that, mali na kaagad yung mindset mo eh. And we don't want to recruit players like that because I've seen players like that na from different schools na you can see naman eh. They're great players in high school, then they get recruited to a college and they relax for one reason or another. They're MVPs, they're mythical five in high school, and they get to college, they feel like they're made, and they stop doing what got them there in the first place. So those are kaya yung gusto namin talaga na player, yung gusto maglaro para sa UP. Hindi yung gusto ng ganito ganyan na nagde-demand or something like that. No. Kasi that's what will happen to them. They'll end up, relaxing. Oh, I've got what I wanted. We want players that are hungry and still want to get better and improve.
Again, as we talked about college basketball recruitment in 2020, so different from 10 and 20 years ago, but now this is the new landscape in college and amateur basketball. For Mikee Reyes, Coach Mo Gingerich, this has been Migs Bustos, and this has been Off the Record. Thank you guys for watching, and see you the next episode. Thanks so much, Podcast Network Asia.